Hello and welcome to another episode. I am Brian, the Unskilled Commander, and this is match 3 of the Daleks, Anim, Ezuri, and Insects. First two matches, Insects won. Second match was probably the best of the three, the best of the first two because everyone did a lot better that time. Got to, except for Anim, unfortunately, but you got to see more of the decks and see what they could do, so that was good. I seem to be a little stuffy, which is unfortunate. I apologize, and hopefully you can hear me. We're going to have to suffer through bad audio and video curved garbage for just a little while longer. I need to get into February of next year, make sure my job is stable and everything's fine before I can get a new computer, which will allow me to change out everything and put the original camera back that had the better view and better audio. But anyway, I really appreciate you checking out the video and the channel. Please look around, throw some likes around. If you enjoy it, please subscribe. And let's go ahead and jump into the game. I rolled the dice, and Dalek goes first. So we're going to draw for turn. I'm going to play Dragon Skull Summit. Comes in tapped because I don't have any other mountains or swamps in the field, which is fine because there's no 1-drops. We'll pass. Draw and play a forest for turn. Nothing else will pass. Draw over here. Play a Terramorphic Expanse, getting a island, and then passing turn. Draw over here. Play a mountain. Nothing else we can do. We'll pass. Untap, upkeep, oops, draw for turn. Play a swamp. But that is it. We'll pass. Untap, upkeep, draw over here. I'll play a plains, tapping both for an arcane signet. Finally getting some action going over there. We'll pass. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. We're gonna play a forest. Actually, no, sorry. I guess it doesn't matter. We'll play the forest, tapping the island for a soul ring, tapping the forest and the soul ring into a command sphere. Good bit of ramp over here, and we will pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Ooh, looks like some of the cards got mixed up in terms of like which way they're facing. We'll play a plains for turn, and I will tap 2 to play Volatile Wanderglyph. It's a 2/2. When it becomes tapped, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. So you don't have to, which is good. But when push comes to shove, if you need some card draw, you can swing into somebody even if they're going to destroy it and discard a useless card to try and get something else. We will pass. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Play a mountain. Tapping all 3 for Foundry Inspector. Artifact spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So that should help get the Emperor out a little faster, hopefully. And it gives us a blocker. So we will pass. Untap, upkeep, draw over here. I will tap all 3 for Letter of Acceptance. Taps for any mana, and I can pay 2 and sack it to draw a card. Because we don't have much by way of lands over here. We're going to pass. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. I'm going to play a Blighted Woodland. Then I'm going to go ahead and tap 4 and sack it to go get 2 basic land cards, put them on the battlefield top. So they don't have to be the same. Now, obviously, I know I could have played my commander. No one's got. There's little creatures out, but they're not that big of a deal right now. And it's the perfect time to ramp so that next turn, hopefully, I can play my commander and maybe another creature and get the ball rolling with the experience counters. We do have 1 open mana, but nothing we can do with it, so we'll pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. I will play a stone query. No, I guess we should. We will play a mountain and tap. I guess we'll just tap all 3 and play the commander. I want to play the command sphere I have, but commander sphere. Will you play Anim, Palak Thousandth Moon? A 1/2. Whenever you attack with 1 or more non-gnome creatures, you put a counter on her, and you make gnome creature tokens tapped and attacking equal to the number of counters on her. Now, if I swung with this, it's a golem, so it actually would trigger it, so that's awesome. So I will do so. And I will swing it at you because you are ramping pretty good. So 2 damage. However, she's going to get a counter, and then I'm going to make 1/1 tapped and attacking golem, or gnome rather. So there you go, first blood. We will pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Gonna play Sulphurous Springs. Taps for colorless, but I can tap it for a black or a red, but it deals 1 damage to me if I do that. I'm going to tap 2 and play, because artifacts cost 1 less, Network Terminal. I can tap it for 1 mana of any color. or I can pay 1 and tap it to tap another untapped artifact you control, draw a card, discard a card. Alright, 3 open mana, but nothing I can really do with it, so we will pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. It's still not a land, but we do have 4 mana. Let's see what we can do with that. Tapping 3 for Caustic Wasps. 1/1 flyer. When it deals combat damage to a player, you may destroy target artifact that player controls. Not good against them. I mean, very good against them, not good for them. But that's all we can do. We'll pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Play another island. So then we will, of course, pay green, blue, and Soul Ring to play Ezuri, Claw of Progress. Whenever a creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, you get an experience counter. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put X counters on another target creature you control, where X is the number of experience counters you control. I went and actually got my experience token, so now we have that. We're going to go ahead and tap 2, and 2 blue and 1 other for Phantom Ninja. I played a creature with power 2 or less, so I get an experience counter. Phantom Ninja is a 2/2 that can't be blocked. I will then move to combat and put a 1/1 counter on Phantom Ninja. Doesn't have haste, of course, but we're gearing up. Pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. We'll play Stone Quarry, comes in tapped. Now I will tap 3 and play the Commander Sphere. Everyone has a blocker, however, they only have a 1/1, but it is flying. So we're going to swing a 2/2 at you. When that triggers, we're going to make a thing and then make 2 gnomes that are tapped attacking you as well. So if you block with the wasp, it dies no matter who you block. So you might as well take out one of the little guys if you're going to do it. The question is, do you want to take that or do you want to take all the damage, or do you want to lose your creature? It's early in the game. Everyone's pretty much at max life, so I guess we'll take 1, 2, 3, 4 damage, and take the gamble that next turn we cast our commander, and then we go to combat with this guy. He gets a counter now. He's damning 2 damage in the air. And we probably will crack back on you to destroy your commander sphere as a threat. Like, hey, don't do that again. Though we probably should do it over here and start getting rid of their ramp that they have. But that's all we can do. We're going to go ahead and pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. We will play the Terramorphic Expanse we just drew and get a swamp. We'll then tap 4 and play Grave Shifter. It's a 2/2 changeling. When it enters the battlefield, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Regrettably, I don't have any. Well, not regrettably, but I mean, it's regrettable that I used it so early. But the point is, artifact spells cost 1 less, and now this counts as a Dalek, so that's 2 less for the Dalek Emperor since it has affinity. So we should be able to get him out next turn. Although, unfortunately, that is on. No, wow. Well, they've been missing turns. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is turn 5. Yes, they just missed a land drop as well. So we're only getting it out 1 turn early, unfortunately, but that's fine because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would actually be 7. Yeah, you're right. That's not the right play. We'll tap everything and bring out the Dalek Emperor. I wasn't doing the math right. See, got ahead of myself. Got to stop and take a thing. He costs 7, but artifacts cost 1 less. That means he costs 6. I actually have 6 mana. So now the Dalek Emperor comes out. Other Daleks have haste, and we are going to move to combat. Now the fun part begins. Everyone has a villainous choice if they can either sacrifice a creature, and if they don't, I make a 3/3 Dalek with Menace. So do you want to sacrifice a creature to give me a Dalek? You know what? I think, well, we don't have much mana. If we hadn't missed the mana drops, I'd be more inclined to say yes and just bring out the commander and make a couple tokens. But I really don't like the idea of them getting a ton. So we're going to say yes, I'm not going to let you do it. They are not, so I'm going to get 1. And I think she will get rid of one of the golems, so I only get 1. We're going to then move to declare attacker's step. Because they have haste, we're going to swing at you, because you didn't let me have 1. You jerk. 1, 2, 3. And actually, this can attack too, so this will attack you, sorry. You got to declare all attackers at once, but, 1, 2, 3. It's just me, so. Now we will pass. Dalek's off to a good start. It took him a little while to get out, but not bad. Draw for turn. Still missing the land drops. However, yes. We're going to tap for a green. Utopia Sprawl. Enters the battlefield. Choose a color. Whenever a Enchanted Forest is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional 1 mana of the chosen type. I'm actually going to just choose green. So this forest now taps for 2 green. I'm going to go ahead and tap it for 2 green and 1 other to play Llanowar Green Widow, a 4/3 reach trample with domain 8. So return it from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped if it gains. If this permanent would leave the battlefield, exile it instead. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each basic land type. Oh, that's way too. That's useless, basically. Because if it dies, you can pay 8 mana to bring it back from your graveyard, but it costs 1 less to cast for each land type, so it would literally only cost 2 less. So instead of 8, it'd be 6. It's like, meh, who cares? Point is, I have a spider. Now, that's a spider, it's not an insect. I do have a couple spiders in there because of flavor text. I chose the Spider-Man playmat to play the insects on, even though he's an arachnid, not an insect, all that stuff. I probably should take the spiders out, but I, had them. And again, this was built off of what I had, so we'll worry about that later. We're gonna pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. I'm gonna play Promising Vein. Going to pay 1 and tap and sacrifice it to get a basic land card put on the battlefield tapped. Get another island. Basically, this deck does lean towards blue out of the blue-green, so that's why. And I'm just going to have Sacrifice Commander Sphere to draw a card, because, let's see, what did I just do? Right, I did play a land, that's how I did that. Okay. So I have 3, 4, 5 mana. I will tap 2 of it to play Canker Bloom. I get another counter, and it's a 3/2. I can pay 1 and sacrifice it to destroy target artifact, enchantment, or I can proliferate. I'm very tempted to fire that off right now, proliferate both of these, and then go to combat and then put even more counters on him. And I don't have to tap it to sacrifice it, so summoning sickness doesn't matter. It is very tempting, although I would lose a blocker, and they have menace, so I think I should stay, rope it in a little bit, try and be calm. So I will move to combat and put 2 more counters on you. You are now a 5/5 unblockable. We're swinging it at you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, yeah. Yeah, right, yeah. But seriously, that's all we can really do. I have 4 mana left, but nothing. I have a really good creature that I could have played, but it got a really cool ability and I don't want to waste. I did that accidentally on a stream with a friend. The inaugural game of Ezuri was on the Chaotic Commanders stream. I recommend you go check out his YouTube channel. You can find it on my main page in the recommended section, and also check out his Twitch and follow him there. He did a really cool. We did a really cool game where we had a whole bunch of house rules going at once. It was crazy, and so I ended up winning with Ezuri because it just made the deck incredibly fast and powerful. But I played the card in my hand way too early, and so I kind of lost the element of surprise on that one thing. So we're gonna pass. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Thriving Buff comes in tapped. I'm going to declare white, so now it taps for white and red. I'm going to tap 3 and play Brea's Apprentice. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 Thopter with flying. And these are 1/1 gnomes. And then I can tap this and sacrifice an artifact to do one of the two. Either target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn, or exile the top card of your library until your next turn. The end of your next turn, you may play that card. So that's a red version of card draw. I like that it's not till the end of your next turn, so that at least gives you a chance to untap mana and have a chance of actually playing it if it's a big spell. I have 2 mana left, and that is actually enough to foretell a card. We're going to see if I can remember to do this. Unfortunately, the foretell cost it's in red, so you probably know what it is, and it's very high cost to play it, even when it's in foretold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have just enough mana, so now you should really know what it is. But we'll see if I remember to actually play it. We're going to move to combat. Now, where can we send something? I think we're going to go ahead and send the Volatile Wanderer, which is just a 2/2. If I send it anywhere, it's going to die. So we'll send it, I don't know, we'll send it at you. But the more important thing is it triggers that and makes, so she gets 3 counters, and it makes 3 1/1 gnome tokens tapped and attacking. So you're going to block this guy, you're going to blow it up with a 6/6, but you will take 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. And the cool thing is now we have a lot of little gnomies running around. So we'll pass turn. We're going to untap, upkeep, draw for turn. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm going to tap a swamp and then pay 2 into X twice. So double X, meaning basically I'm paying X is going to be 2. For the Doomsday Confluence, choose 2. You may choose the same mode more than once. Each player sacrifices a non-artifact creature, create a 3/3 Dalek, or each opponent discards a card. I'm going to create 2 3/3 Daleks. Now I have 3 of them. I'm then going to move to combat. Everyone has a deviously villainous choice to make. Sacrifice a creature or I make a Dalek. Yeah, I'll sacrifice the, well, do I? Well, a 4/3 is not bad, but it won't get the buff even if I do cast the commander. But then I'll be open, but I'm open anyway because they all have menace, so I guess. We don't need to give you extra that you don't need. You, of course, will sacrifice 1. So that means you're the only one that doesn't have to. If we sacrifice it, I don't think it counts as sacrificing the trigger. I could be wrong on that, let me know in the comments. But I think if you're sacrificing to someone else's effect, you can't sacrifice it yourself to trigger its own ability. Because that doesn't count. So at least I don't see why it would. If it does, that's kind of bullcrap, but whatever. I'm going to say no, you get to make a Dalek. And then they all have haste, and we get to move. We're in combat, so now we're declaring attackers. I have 4 3/3s. I'm going to send the Foundry Inspector at you, 1, 2, 3, just because. I don't like the unblockable, but I don't like all of that either. So we're going to send them all at you. They have menace, so you have to double block them. And you have how many? You have 2 open creatures. Oh, you have 4. So you can block 2 of them, meaning you're going to take 6 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, no, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 2 will block 1, and then these 2 will block 3, 4, 5. So yes, the Dalek will kill this. And that's 2 damage. Well, it's definitely going to kill 1 with her. Then these 2 will stack block against that. We'll destroy both of them. And then, like I said, 2 get 3. Yeah, it was 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry. So that helps rein that in a little bit. We're going to pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Still no lands. So we're going to have to start doing something over here. So 1, 2, 2 blue, 2 green, and a thing, and then tapping so that he comes in as a 2/2. It's Reston. He is a flying 2/2 now. And when he enters the battlefield, create X/1/1 tokens that equal to what X was. So 2 of them. Whenever you attack with 1 or more insects, they get a +1/+1 counter on it. But that's all we can do. We'll pass. I will admit that because insects won the first 2 games, I did take a less than good hand, but I'm not holding back things. I'm literally not getting any land, so it's not going faster. So we untap over here, we upkeep and draw. Play Rhinewood Falls comes in tapped. Pay 1, sacrifice Cankerbloom to proliferate, since I didn't get to play an actual creature. Then I will move to the beginning of combat, add 3 counters over here, bumping this up to 7 counters, making it a 9/9, unblockable. I will send a 9/9 at you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that's all we can do. We have stuff in the hand for reactions, so I have to remember that. But we're going to pass turn, which I won't because I hardly ever do. But now, wait a second, untap, right? Draw for turn. A mirrored landscape comes in tapped, okay. But I will then tap, right? What do I need? 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana to cast from Fortell Delayed Blast Fireball. It deals 2 damage to each opponent and each creature they control. If this spell was cast from exile, which it was, it deals 5 damage to each opponent and each creature they control instead. I don't think anyone has any kind of. Let me check. I mean, there's no. Yep, that's not going to help there. Okay, while there are some good cards in hands, nothing that can actually stop this. So every opponent is gonna take 5 damage. 1, 2, 3. And every creature is gonna take 5 damage. So that's gonna blow up this. Costs 2 more to cast. Definitely gonna blow up this, which now costs 2 more to cast. It's gonna blow up all of those. 3, 4, 5. Just enough. Blows up that. Blows up all of them. Going to blow up all the Daleks, which is very bad for recasting the commander. He will survive though, so I don't have to recast him. That's good. But this does get blown up as well. Okay, so that was a really great play. It cleared the battlefield and bought us a little time, but not really because it didn't destroy that. So we're going to pass turn. And in all honesty, it helped, but it didn't because we still have the Emperor and the Unblockable to worry about. So we're going to untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Play a Bloodfeld Caves. Enters tapped, but I do gain a life, which I need. First and foremost, I'm going to tap a black and a red to do really awesome looking Terminate. Terminate. Destroy target creature. It can't be regenerated. We are absolutely getting rid of that. And I still have 4 mana, which I can, in fact, tap to do. Finally, bring out the Grave Shifter I had mentioned earlier. The 2/2, and when he enters the battlefield, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Do we have one? We do. Ha ha. We have the Foundry Inspector, so that goes back to our hand. Excellent. We're going to move to combat, and we're going to definitely, beginning combat, choice. No one can sacrifice anything, which is awesome because that means we get 3 Daleks. Oh, that's really good. So then we're going to move to combat. Now, what's the smart move? Should I send everything at 1, or should I send 1 Dalek at everybody, at each, and then the commander at somebody? Because that's 9 damage, that's 15 damage at somebody. I'm tempted to spread it around, but we don't want to drag the games out. So we are going to spend 15 damage at you. Well, first of all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 9. Okay, so that's a solid hit. We're going to pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. All right, let's go ahead and tap all of them for Loyal Guardian. It's a 4/4 with trample, and it's Lieutenant. So at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control your commander, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Unfortunately, I don't. That's all we can do. We'll pass. But it's a 4/4, so it's not horrible. We're going to untap, upkeep, draw. Hunter's Maze comes in tapped. Oh, I forgot I should have done the thing because he sent everything at me. Okay, so again, I apologize. It's just hard to remember what's in everybody's hands when I'm not in front of that deck. So this is what I would have done because I had more than enough mana open. We specifically left it up. I'm going to cast tap 3. So what that means is we're going to have to take all this back. Hang on. Because in response to attackers being declared, we're going to flash in Portal Mage, a 2/2 that says when it enters the battlefield during the declare attacker's step, you may reselect which player or permanent target attacking creatures is attacking. So I'm going to redirect all of that damage at somebody else instead of me. I'm going to send it. Now, this wasn't on the field at the time, so it could get through at either one of them. The question is, where do I want it to go? I think we're going to send it over here because you're the one that blew up all my stuff. Well, you blew up my commander. So now it's going to be the same thing, but over here. So there's that. So you took the damage instead of me. So now on my upkeep, I play untap, upkeep, draw, which I did. Then because I drew the Hunter's Mage. So I play the Hunter's Mage. Then it's green, blue, that, plus 2 more to recast the commander, which leaves me with 3 mana. Can I do anything good with 3 mana? Not really. It doesn't have, it came in on their attack step, so we're going to put 3 counters on this because it's the only real target. So it's a 5/5. We can go to combat, but I don't know. Yeah, probably. All right, so we'll swing a 5/5 at you. You're at 19. You really don't want to take it. You'll block, which is kind of what we wanted you to do. Then we're going to pass turn. Untap over here, upkeep, draw. So I will tap 6 to play Inferno of Star Mounts. Inferno of the Star Mounts. The spell can't be countered. It's a 6/6 flying haste, and I can pay a red, and it gets +1/+0 until end of turn. When the power becomes 20 this way, it deals 20 damage to any target. I don't know how you could get up enough to pump it 20 times, but if you can do it, I will tap for a red and pump it once, so it's 7 damage in the air. And I'm going to swing it at you because you just redirected all that damage at me. 7. All right, there we go. We're going to pass turn. At your end step, I'm going to tap a blue and unsummon your commander. So it returns it to its owner's hand. So there's no commander tax, which kind of sucks, but we're still going to make you waste the mana to recast it. Pass turn. So we untap, upkeep, draw. Play a luxury suite I just drew. It comes in untapped because we have 2 or more opponents. Now, we do have 3 Daleks, and this has affinity for Daleks. So that means it costs 3 less. You know, I think we have enough mana to go 1, 2, 3, recast the Foundry Inspector. Now artifacts cost 1 less to cast, so this means we only need 3 mana to recast it, because this is 4. There you go. So it really didn't help that much, but we did have some good high-level spells over here that we could have played that we didn't because we had to waste it all on the thing. So it's fine. It did what it could. Now we go to the beginning of combat, and we do our little thing. Do you want to sacrifice that creature to stop me from making a thing? It kind of is looking like the Daleks are going to win. There's not much we can do. We can't block them with the 1, but we're hoping to recast that. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. It's dumb, but you're going to take it. Over here, I can't get rid of the commander because that's the whole point. Although I don't have any creatures in hand, which is a problem. Which is another reason why we really can't. We need to keep bumping that up without wasting the mana to recast every time. So I guess you're going to get another one. And then that's a 6/6 flyer that we can pump up. So you're going to get another one. It seems like a really bad choice, but I don't know. I mean, I understand that these guys can't block, and well, he can't block anyway, but because only one of them's up. But the point is, it's like that's the point of the villainous choice. It's designed to do that. So you have no choice. You have to let me do it. So they have haste. We're going to move to combat. Who's the biggest threat? Well, what's the damage on board? Because like these 2 can't attack anyway. So we've got 18 damage. So we could only take out them, but exactly enough. So we might as well. We will send all the damage at you. We don't need that flyer coming back because what? 1, 2, 3, 4. It would get pumped at least 4, hit for 10. That's definitely something we don't want. So yeah, 6 times 3, 18. You are the unalived. Boom. Kaboosh. Alright, so clearly that's the weakest of the 4 decks. Obviously, it hasn't done as well. But again, as I said before, I really didn't put as much effort into building that one because I was kind of bored with building decks and reading cards and crap. So I just kind of threw it together yesterday real quick versus these that I took a little bit more time with. So that's on me. I mean, obviously it is. I'm the one that built it, so of course it's on me. We're going to pass. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Ooh, that's interesting. That would really screw over that character like completely. It's basically a stack piece that would absolutely shut them down. See, the problem is I have some really good removal and stuff, and it's like I don't know if it's worth playing it because I have literally 2 lands. I have not drawn any other lands. And if I took the time I have like 1 mana rock that I could play. That's 3. It's like if I play the removals, buy me a couple turns. It's like I don't know that it really is going to be worth it because it'll take forever to recast the commander at that point, and we're just going to keep getting smacked with Daleks because we would only have 1 creature to block with. All right, I guess we're going to tap these 3 to play the Seer's Lantern, and then tap these 3. Ugh, I hate to do it because we've already seen it, but we play Grasp of Fate, grabbing these 3. So until someone gets enchantment removal. So Grasp of Fate says when it enters the battlefield, for each opponent, exile up to 1. Oh, only 1 thing per opponent. Sorry. So I only get 2 things. Exile up to 1 target non-land permanent that player controls until Grasp of Fate leaves the battlefield. So now they can't make more, and they can't get more counters, and they can't move the counters. So that's not going to get any bigger. We will then might as well go to combat. Swing at you, because 1, 2, 3, 4, it kind of incentivizes them to go after you, ideally. But pass turn, untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Oh wait, I have an answer. I forgot. That's awesome. So 1, 2, 3, and a green. Shoot down, exile target artifact, enchantment, or creature. I'm gonna exile this. So these come back. You're like, no, I just got rid of his big thing. Yep, that's too bad. I did get Vine Glimmer Snarl. Unfortunately, it's a land. It comes in tapped because I can't reveal anything. Okay, so we're going to tap a green and play Royal Treatment. Target creature gains hexproof until end of turn and create a royal token onto it so it gets +1/+1. We'll just put that under it. Obviously, it's an instant. It should be used for when someone targets my creatures to blow them up. Then we're going to move again, so this goes up by another 3. So it's 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, I want to go at you, but well, the whole incentivize things does make sense. So I'm going to send 9 at you. Really, what it does is it just makes it easier for them to kill both of us, I guess. But you tried to screw us over. I'm just trying to make it like, look, get him. But clearly, this is. Although I have nothing in hand, no cards in hand, it's obvious unless I top deck a draw spell or a really good creature, I'm not gonna. That's not gonna go up much more. So it's not gonna get lethal anytime fast. And this doesn't have anything fun. Well, it does have something really fun, but I used it. There's no flying, no unblockable, so it's not getting through. It's one of the few creatures in the deck that doesn't have one of those two things, and I only have it in there for that whole redirecting combat thing. I cannot get rid of any of my lands or anything to draw as cards, so we're going to have to pass. I'm going to untap, upkeep, draw for turn, light step pathway. So taps for, I can play either side. I can play the pathway that's black or the other side taps red. You switch it depending on what you need at the time. But now it only taps for black. All right, let's go for it. I'm going to tap 2 black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So X is 7. Profane Command. Choose 2. Target player loses 7 life. Return target creature card with converted mana cost 7 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Target creature gets -7/-7 until end of turn, or up to 7 target creatures gain fear until end of turn when they can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or black creatures. So I am going to I'm going to choose, obviously target player loses X life, so you're going to lose 7 life. And then I'm going to make target creature -7/-7. I think that's the first time it was killed. It got taken, but that doesn't count. So now everybody's wide open. I have 3 6/6s, or I have 6 3/3s. So that's 18 damage. So we're going to send 18 damage at you, and then these guys are going at you. Haboosh, you are the unalived. There we go. Boom. Now we are at 19 and we are open, and you do have, a heavy hitter, sort of. So we don't know. It depends on what you draw. You might have a chance. And you can recast the commander. You have more than enough mana. So that's 6, 9, 10, 11. That's pretty close. We'll see. But we're going to pass. I don't think I did anything wrong. I think I got everything right over there. So we're going to untap, upkeep, drop. We're going to tap a soul ring to make a mind stone. We're going to definitely go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to recast him. I really hope he hasn't been cast already. I hope he hasn't been blown up already, because I'm filming all 3 of these episodes back to back, and I know in other games he's been blown up a couple times. So I'm trying to think if he's been blown up in this game. I know he got taken, and he just came back, but I don't think anyone blew it up. Have enough, because I'm going to tap and sacrifice Mind Stone to draw a card. It's a land, so we'll say we're going to tap these 2 and say that just in case this is the second time it got destroyed, not the first. Just in case, because we can't replay a land, blah, blah, blah. We're fine. And even if I had drawn a 2-drop, I really probably shouldn't have played it if that was the case. So it's the whole thing. But we'll just play it safe, right? So we're going to move to combat step. This gets another 3 and goes up to 9, 10, 11. You're wide open. We're going to absolutely... Oh, no, wait a second. So it's 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're going to send 12 at you. Did I miss that the first time I smacked with him? Of course, I think I said it over there. So yeah, unfortunately, that's all we can do from this perspective. Fortunately, that's awesome because it's going to mean that the Daleks actually win a game. So we're going to untap, pass turn, untap, upkeep, draw for turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oops. Yeah, why not? Just to be sure, we're going to tap 9 and play In Garruk's Wake. Destroy all creatures that we don't control and all planeswalkers we don't control. So, kaboom, back to the command zone. That's gone. And then we swing the board. Boom. There you have it. Match 3. Daleks pull out the win finally. They've been building. First game didn't do well at all because they were barely got the commander out on turn 7. No ramp. Second game it ramped out much better and was able to do quite a bit of back and forth. This time pulled out the win, so I'm very pleased. And I'm pleased with all of them except for poor Anim. I'm sorry, she just hasn't been built very well. I need to try and rethink that. Insects, for what they're worth, for what they are, pretty decent. They just probably need to take the spiders out. I've only got 2 or 3 in there. Then, tweak it a little bit more. I'm happy with Ezuri, but as I've mentioned in the prior episodes, it's a very easy build. There's nothing complicated about it. It's like big green stompy. It's just put a bunch of utility creatures that are only 2 power or less, ideally unblockable creatures or flying, and then just a lot of card draw. I probably need to add a little bit more in there actually, so that you're always dropping 2-3 creatures per turn, always having enough mana to recast Ezuri when it gets inevitably blown up or exiled, and you should be able to win. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you saw some cool cards. Please check out some more of my videos. Go check out the comedy skits. I'm proud of those. They're worth a little chuckle or a smile. And I will see you next time.